Alright everybody, how we doing today? Time for another massacre story. These are never easy. Good thing the story is relatively short. From Reuters, it's a 3-minute read. At least 37 killed in attack on Canadian miner Samafo convoy in Burkina Faso. 37 civilians were killed and more than 60 wounded when gunmen ambushed a convoy transporting workers of Canadian gold miner Samafo in eastern Burkina Faso, regional authorities said on Wednesday. The attack is the deadliest in recent years as the military struggles to contain Islamist violence that has overrun parts of Burkina Faso, located in West Africa. Samafo tightened security last year following armed incidents near two of its mines in the country. Samafo said in a statement earlier that the attack on a convoy of 5 buses with the military escort took place on the road to its Bongo mine in the eastern region of Est, about 40 kilometers from Bongo, and that there were several fatalities and injuries. The East Governor's officer later gave more details, saying unidentified armed men laid an ambush for a convoy transporting Samafo workers, giving a provisional civilian death toll of 37 with over 60 wounded. Good grief! This is easily the largest death toll for an attack on civilians I've ever heard of. This is crazy. This toll does not include an unknown number of the security forces who may have been killed in the attack. The toll was likely to rise as there are a large number of people unaccounted for, according to a security source. 2 security sources said the military vehicle leading the convoy was struck by an IED on a stretch of road where there is no cell phone network. Shortly after the initial explosion, an unknown number of gunmen opened fire. One of the sources said it appeared that they targeted the buses as well as the military escort, which was unusual. In December, a police vehicle was attacked on the same road, resulting in 5 deaths. When contacted by Reuters, a Samafo spokeswoman said, "At this point we do not have full information and are not in a position to add this morning's release." The Bongo mine is secure and operations are not affected, the company said. Samafo's Toronto-listed shares hit a 9-month low after the news and were trading down 10% by 17:55 GMT. Once a pocket of relative calm in the Sahel, Burkina has suffered a homegrown insurgency for the past 3 years, which has been amplified by a spillover of jihadist violence and criminality from its chaotic northern neighbor, Mali. After last year's incidents, which Samafo said were the work of armed bandits, the company reinforced its escorts and decided to transport all expatriate employees by helicopter between the Bongo mine and Agodago. I'm probably saying these totally wrong. What can I say? I natively speak English. I speak a couple other languages, but none of them sound even remotely like this. No, sir. But, yeah. I think it was bad enough that 9 American citizens were killed over in Mexico recently. All of them Mormons, yeah. But Canada, it looks like Canada beat us. They had more people killed. Radical Islam at its finest, folks. I'm not saying that Islam itself is bad, although I don't particularly like any of the Abrahamic faiths. But, your average Muslim probably isn't like this. These people have clearly been radicalized by some kind of radical imam or some other person who wants to push them into militant behavior. So if you are a Muslim hearing this, I'm not hating on you. I'll disagree with your beliefs till the cows come home, but I don't insist that you must be some kind of crazy militant. Not like these people. These obvious radicals who have been pushed into it by some, I don't know, cult leader maybe. For all I know. But this is easily the highest civilian death toll from an attack on a civilian convoy I personally have heard of. This is insane. A part of me thinks that we should just avoid these countries for the sake of our very lives, since there's nothing we can seemingly do about it. But that would be pretty terribly isolationist. I don't know what to tell you. Other than maybe start arming civilized convoys, but maybe that would seem like a threat. Could we honestly do that? Maybe we can arrange with the country's government for some kind of armed escort. Actually, that sounds pretty reasonable. We could arrange for an armed escort, maybe get them set up with some kind of guardian unit that can keep them safe. I think that idea in general would probably be pretty positive. There's little to complain about with that idea. Although I think some people would take that as a challenge. But yeah, I think it's time to start giving civilians in other countries armed escorts. Shit's getting crazy. The thing in Mexico, this thing in Africa. Where next? Who next? It's time to start giving them armed escorts. It's either that or just let people get killed. Anyway, peace.